when it comes into just not just having a brand new season, but the excitement behind the organization with Wemby, how's the not just the mood with the team, but how are coming into a new season? How are you feeling with maybe a new sense of energy with this organization?
Well, every season begins with tremendous excitement. You know, as we all know, nobody's lost any games. Everybody's a winner. Everybody's going to win the championship. You know, all that sort of thing. So it's an exciting time. You know, the guys have been working all summer. They've been in the gym for the last 5-6 weeks, and they just want to get to the next step. You know, which is being coached and putting the team together and getting ready for the season. So it's a very exciting time. But it's like that every year. This isn't any different than any other year in that respect.
Coach, with a prospect as unique as Wemby, who we've seen kind of do a bit of everything, can you talk about the opportunity of either kind of scheming around him or the opportunity to just develop him and kind of push those skills forward?
Well, certainly we want to watch him develop, but it's the same with Devin or Keldon or Zach, everybody else. So we have two questions so far, and both involve Wemby, and I understand that. But there's a team out there. He's no different from anybody else. You know, he's got to develop and improve knowledge of the game and some of his skills, just like every other player. So fortunately for us, he's very coachable. He's very intelligent, and you know that's already begun for him, even from the first day practicing for the summer league, just getting used to a different kind of game. So. We'll watch him probably for the next couple of weeks without saying too much of anything to him, just so we understand his idiosyncrasies and the way he plays the game, how his body works, all that sort of thing. You know, everybody else, we know their game. We know what they do, so we've got to do the same thing with him.
Thank you.
Coach Bob. This group of veterans in particular has been very vocal about wanting to be here, and you guys have brought in a lot of new veterans. For you, what makes this group so unique?
I don't know really how to answer how unique or not unique. Every year is a little bit different because of additions and subtractions, so we'll figure out that personality as we move forward.
Coach Paco Fuenzo here.
Okay.
You guys, your thoughts on the new training facility, the Victory Capital Performance Center, and also what kind of motivation does this bring to the team? Being in a new training facility, is that an additional spark for them?
Sure. It's an unbelievable building. You know, this one I think is 22 or 23 years old, and it looks brand new. You know, the players have always respected it. You know, the staff has really taken care of it. And, you know, it'll be the same way with the new facility, but with all the additions and all the spaces that are available in these modern times, make it, it's almost like a home. I was thinking about moving in. I don't know why I would leave and drive someplace else to go to sleep when I can do it there and then get up in the morning and I'm already at work. It's that kind of place. It's really a home. So they've been there once. We took them on a tour 4, 5, 6 days ago, something like that, and they were pretty awestruck.
And leaving this building, also a lot of memories from this building are going to be left here. What crosses your mind when you leave this building? Is it like leaving your house?
No, you know, most of the memories, you know, come from wins and losses, you know, and events on the road, on the bus, on the airplane, you know, when you're involved with the players on a more personal level. But here was just, you know, it was just mainly practice and development. But those memorable moments were probably away from here, down at the AT&T Center or, at, like I said, on the road. Yes, ma'am.
Coach, Devin has made a tremendous recovery post his injury last season. What are you most excited to see maybe new from him, and what should we expect different?
I think, he missed a good amount of time last year, and it really affected him in the sense that he went to work this summer and was very dedicated. His body is absolutely different than what you remember. He's much stronger. He's much more aggressive and physical. He's more confident. He wants to prove himself, both as a player and as a leader. He's been very vocal during the summer and demanding of his teammates, that sort of thing. So he's already taken some big steps.
Hey, Coach, can you talk about Zach and just his development last year and kind of what you saw over the summer and what you're looking for
Sure.
from him this year?
Zach's, he's a huge improvement and success story, mainly because being unavailable for 2 years, that's a long time. I mean, you'd all probably be rusty if you didn't do an interview or anything for 2 years, and then all of a sudden you got to do it. It's different when there are people trying to keep you from doing what you want to do. So he had a big uphill battle in that respect, and he won that battle. I can still remember a call I got from Mark Few, his coach at Gonzaga, who just told me I would never be sorry, that he's somebody we should be looking at, that we'd be very happy. And it took time because in the initial stages it was just all rehab. But you saw as the season went on, he became more and more confident. Now he shoots the three with confidence. It's a totally different mindset for him. He's one of our most, I'd say, nasty players. You got to have a little bit of nasty out on the court, and he naturally does that because of his competitiveness, his take no prisoner sort of attitude, and that's shown all during the summer. So we're very excited about him being on the court and playing a lot of minutes. Yeah, there's room for everybody to grow. I mean, I got to grow as a coach, so players don't really reach their limits that early. What's Keldon? Is he a senior in college this year or junior? I'm not sure which, but something like that. So, he'll continue to improve his knowledge of the game, understanding, time and score and all those sorts of things. But, when he came, he wasn't a shooter, and now he can shoot the three very well. His emphasis this season will be trying to be a defender, to take pride in trying to stop somebody. Because last year on defense as a team, I think we were wanting.
Hi. Sorry to bring it back to Victor Wembanyama. You said he's going to watch for a couple of weeks. Can you say more about how you plan to use him either on preseason games and during the championship? He's going to play a lot, or what do you plan to do with him?
I have no idea.
Pop, with what you said earlier about this team being more than just Victor, do you think that message is going to be hard to convey with all the attention he's going to get to us than it will be to your team?
Knowing you all, nobody heard me say that.
Right. When do you think you're going to start to get annoyed by the Victor questions?
I already am.
Yeah. But do you? Is there?
It's okay. It's okay.
Is there a sense
Part of the deal.
Is there a sense of preparation for the guys for the whole Wemby media circus, or do you just kind of lead them to their own devices on that?
I think a little bit of both. I've talked to players individually and that sort of thing, but I think if we treat it like it's no big deal, and you all are going to do what you do, and fans are going to do what they do, But because I know the players and because he's got such high character and he's used to this, this isn't the first time that he's gotten attention. I think just handling it organically is better than making decisions ahead of time that we're going to do this and this and this and this and put everybody in boxes. Let's just roll with it and see what it's like. If there are people hanging on the top of the bus, then we got to get them off, that kind of thing. But short of that, we'll be okay.
I won't do that, I promise.
Pop, over here. Can you just talk about the greatness of Victor Wembanyama?
Why don't we do that one-on-one?
Hey, there have been times in this building on Media Day where it was championship or bust, and then last year you said it was about developing these guys until you can pass them on to the next guy. You just wanted to make them pros.
Right.
After the draft of a certain player, does that change the expectations going forward? What would reasonable expectations be for this season?
As you well know, even when we were set to compete for championships, we never talked about wins, losses, playoffs. The only statement I ever made was we want to be the best team we can be by playoff time. So I don't talk about expectations with them. It's pretty inherently obvious that we want to win. These guys wouldn't be at this level if they weren't winners, that kind of thing. So I don't think I need to beat them over the head with we're going to have this goal and this goal and this goal and this goal like the books talk about. Let's just go play our ass off. Let's compete, obey the basketball gods, respect and love each other, and we'll see where we go. But this might be an answer you like better. Development is great, and all those guys needed it, and they've made some big jumps. Even though there weren't a ton of wins, even in the losses, there were some great moments and some real competitiveness on the part of a lot of those guys. And of course, when you add a player with Victor's abilities, your prospects look better. But this year, with development, I think one of the important factors to enhance that development is winning. So winning is as important this year as learning was in the past. So they got to continue to learn, but adding more wins, I think, is appropriate, mandatory, helpful.
So is it fair to assume that winning wasn't really that important last year?
Coach. Coach.
I'm the funny guy, not you.
Coach, and just complimenting on last year's.
Where are we?
Over here.
Yes, sir.
Again. Last year's Media Day, you said don't go crazy in Vegas. Should we this year?
Don't go crazy in Vegas. I don't know when I said that. I don't know why I said it. I never know why I say anything. So I can't answer. Oh, that's what he means. I don't talk about betting. There's no such thing in my vocabulary.
What do you see as over by Don, the next development step for Jeremy Sochan? Like and how he fits into the puzzle you're putting together?
If you or anyone in here can help me with that, I'd be appreciative, because he can play 1 through 4, and depending on circumstances and who we're playing, injuries, that sort of thing, I can see him going to the 5 position and us playing small. He's that kind of, he's like a utility infielder in baseball. They still have that? Maybe they don't have that anymore. But the sky's the limit for him. He's so competitive. He handles the ball. He's one of our best passers. What is he, 6'8", something like that? So he can find people. He's really going to be important in creating pace for us, that up-tempo style that we did so much better last year. So he's going to be very, very fun to watch.
guess semi-related, how do you feel about the group of point guards you have outside of Trey Jones? Is that a group you kind of have to find out about?
Yeah, training camp's gonna be really important for us as coaches to see how we think it fits. Is Wemby gonna be a 5? Is he gonna be a 4? Is he gonna be a 3? Is he gonna play alongside Zach? You gonna put him in the post? Not? Is he a perimeter player? What is he? Who's he fit best with out there? What should the rotations be? A lot of really cool questions that we'll get to answer. Yes?
Do you think have you changed in the way you coach teams and player through the years, through the time?
Change the way I coach?
Yes.
Well, I'm not sure I understand the question. I mean, some things will be exactly the same as they've been for 20-some years because those are the basics, and you don't want to skip those steps. Other things change depending on the player, figuring out what buttons to push, tweaks in the offense, additions to the defense or the offense. There are always some changes, but the way I develop relationships with the players will be the same.
Pop, to your left. Because of Victor, because of the new facility, have you sensed any new or heightened sense of excitement with some of the veteran guys coming back into this season, maybe more so than in a normal year?
Well, I would think so. I mean, you look around and you see somebody like that, that person has the ability to make your team more successful. So, of course, they're humans. They see that. But we've got, other guys coming in that haven't been here before, and a couple of guys that came at the end of last season, Julian and Sandro, for instance, that we're all excited about because they've done such a good job. So it'll be a interesting camp and a lot deeper team. When I look down the bench, there are a whole lot more possibilities at both ends of the floors that I can deal with.
Coach, what excites you about the internal growth of this team as they, sort of learn how to play with each other a little bit more from last year to this year? Is there anything that you've seen that, kind of gets you going as a coach?
Well, I don't need a whole lot to get me going, but if I have to think of something for the thesis that you're writing about what excites me, I would say just their attitude, coming in, their aggressiveness, the way they've worked all summer. It might sound trite, but they have been physical, they've demanded of each other, they've been consistent, and that attitude has really been infectious for everybody.
Morning, Coach.
Okay.
Robin Grumman, Agence France Presse. How much did Victor Wembanyama adapt to his new team and environment the past few weeks?
Brilliantly.
Coach, you talked about how critical training camp is going to be for you guys as coaches, the different buttons, trying to press and trying people out at different positions. Compared to years of the past where you've had a lot of the same core coming back, where does this training camp for you as coaches now in year 27, 28, does it provide a new challenge for you that you haven't seen in any of the previous years?
I think it's different in the sense that there are more pieces that we have to put together to figure out what the whole is going to be. As you said, we always had a core, and we would fit everyone else around that, whether they were new or just 1 or 2 year players. Now we have a lot of young players, but we're not exactly sure at the moment how they're going to fit, what the rotations should be, who should start or come off the bench. So that makes it a little bit different than in the past.
Coach.
Yes, sir.
Back here in the back. When a player like Wemby enters the NBA, and I'm sure you saw it with Tim.
Are you reading that off a card?
off of my phone a little bit. The city quickly embraces them. What do you think a player like Wemby's going to do for the culture of the city overall, whether it's on the court or off?
Because he has great maturity for his age. He's a thinking person. He's highly intelligent. He's just a good man. So he hasn't had, nor will he have, any problem blending in and gaining the respect of his teammates or understanding our community and, you know, what responsibilities he has there. So I don't spend any moment whatsoever worrying about how he's going to blend in. Yeah, Tom? You know, I don't really have any comments about who other people sign, but I'm sure many of us have had second chances in life.
Pop, you mentioned Keldon's expectations defensively this season. What did you see from him last year being thrust into such a large offensive role, particularly after DeJounte was traded? He kind of had to take a big leap.
Well, you're right, and he did. You know, his concentration was offense, and it served him well. You know, he really improved his skills and his confidence in what he can do. So he's not just a driver anymore, you know, like in the very beginning I would call him a bull in a china shop. And that's been pretty much put to bed because he's understood now what's needed at different moments in a game, and he looks at who's guarding him and who he can take advantage of and what's needed. So this year he's intent on becoming more of an all-around player.
Pop-up.
Yes.
I'm not sure if my math is right on this, but if Wembanyama starts this year, that probably means that somebody who started last year won't. Have you had any discussion with some of those guys about possibly coming off the bench, and do you think whoever does that will handle it well?
I've had no such discussions with anyone. And if Manu Ginobili can come off the bench, anybody can, and I don't want to hear it. All right, take care. See you down the road.
Hi, Devin. So you had the opportunity during the offseason to work out with Kevin Durant, who is somebody that you're known to look up to. Mm-hmm. I'm just wondering what that experience was like for you, and did he leave you with anything to go into this new season with?
Yeah, first off, you know, that was kind of surreal for me. You know, KD's probably one of my favorite players when I was growing up. So to be able to get workouts in and play pickup and everything, you know, it was huge. He told me a bunch of stuff. You know, he gave me some advice, but at the end of the day, he really just told me just to be me. Don't let anybody change the way I play. And, you know, at the end of the day, just play with pace, play confident, and, you know, be a great teammate. You know, he told me a lot more, but I think right now, that's all I can say. My knee is great. You know, it was tough last year, battling back and forth, you know, in and out of games, having to sit out, having to, you know, do a surgery and everything. But, you know, I took a lot away from that. Was always in good spirits and high spirits, you know, talking to the team. But I feel great. I'm ready to get the season going. So just know my knee feels great.
Hey, Devin. Pop talked about you taking on more of a leadership role. What does that entail for you? Like, what are you trying to do with the team?
Truthfully, I'm just being myself. I don't think I'm doing anything that's out of character. You know, I've been in the league, which is crazy for me to say I'm a vet going into my 4th year. But, you know, we got a lot of younger guys. I'm just trying to, you know, sit there and help them out with whatever. If it's on the court, off the court, you know, I've been doing a lot of stuff with the team, trying to go to team dinners, trying to do some team bonding stuff, you know, so everybody just likes each other. Everybody knows that, you know, when you're in the heat of the game and, you know, either somebody's getting cursed out or whatever it is, it's not because you don't like them. It's because at the end of the day, you want to push them to be great. I mean, everything's been good. We've been having great turnouts. People have been coming. I think people are excited for this year, and everybody's ready for a bigger and a better role. So I'm excited.
How have the vets meshed with Victor, and just your thoughts on him in general? And also defensively, how much better can you guys be with him?
I mean, I think it would be night and day. I mean, 7'5", protecting the paint. I don't think there's – you can't say anything else about that. Vic has came in here, and he's fit basically perfectly. You know, he comes in, he asks questions. As a rookie, you know, he came in a little nervous, but I think now he's starting to get more comfortable, and you can see it. You know, on both sides of the floor, he's starting to become more and more confident, and he's going to be a big part of this, and we're going to need him to be confident and trusting.
I think it's fair to say a couple times last season, you were a little vocal about a certain segment of the fan base being a little too into the race for the #1 draft pick.
For sure.
But now that Victor's here, you kind of glad it went the way it did?
Nah, for sure. I mean, at the end of the day, when I'm talking about is, which came out on my live, is at the end of the day, I'm trying to sit here and we're trying to win basketball games. We're not sitting here trying to not win. We're not sitting here going into a game saying, let's just lose. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. That just doesn't sit right with me. I'm a competitor. I want to win. Like, you see all these banners in here. You want to win championships. You don't want to sit here and not win games. So for people to try and encourage us to lose games, it just didn't sit right with me. But Victor's a great guy. Victor's come in, and, I mean, I have no problem with Victor. Me and Victor talk all day, every day, so there's no problems.
And I'll be the one to ask it. You're due for a contract extension here, or at least eligible. How is that going, and what are your thoughts on that process as it plays out?
Yeah, just know I want to be a Spur for a long time, and that's all I can say.
Pop talked about last year being a development year and this year being a winning year. What do you see from this team that y'all can improve on to get those wins?
I mean, I think the elephant in the room is our defense. We were pretty much dead last on defense. Everybody just got to pick it up. You know, as me being a leader of the team, I got to sit here and start with that. And everybody, I know, if they see me doing it, if they see KJ doing it, if they see Jeremy playing defense, everybody got to follow suit. So I think that's the biggest thing that we're going to do this year is really focus on defense and getting stops and pride ourselves on that.
Devin, as much as folks talk about getting better, right, every game and just letting the process play out, in terms of goals as a team, you guys what are you guys looking at in terms of goals team-wide?
I don't think there's anything in particular, like a specific goal. I know for us, it's literally just getting better each and every day. We're ready to get into the season, scrimmage, preseason, and just see how we go, how we bond, and, you know, how that's going to be. Obviously, our goal is to win more games than we did last year and not be last on defense. And, you know, all the goals that we have, I'm going to keep in-house, truthfully.
How about individually for you?
I mean, I think just improving on last year. I think I showed spurts of, you know, offensively what I can do. Defensively, I just want to be more consistent and, you know, just helping the team get wins. That's all I care about is winning.
Devin, Pop was mentioning that his sense of the group was that you guys are just ready to get to that next stage. What in that next stage are you most excited about, whether it's playing with these new guys or seeing how the defense is improving? What has you a little bit more fired up today?
I don't know. It's a different energy around here. I mean, I think we all know with Victor coming, it's been a different energy in San Antonio. I think we're all just ready to see it. You know, since I've been out here in San Antonio, I got drafted COVID year. That was crazy. We had no fans. Yeah, for sure. And then, you know, the past couple of years, it just hasn't been this type of excitement around. You know what I'm saying? So I think for it to be how it is right now and the excitement and people are already trying to have games sold out, like it's just going to be a great excitement and a great year.
Dev, Coach Pop said that your body this year is different than we've been used to seeing. How has your body changed since we saw you last, and how do you hope to apply that on the court?
Truthfully, all this summer I worked on just getting stronger, not just my legs, but I mean, like you said, my whole body. I'm not trying to sit out no more games. I'm not trying to sit out and, you know, miss any games. So that was like my main focus was just get stronger and get ready for the season. So I'm not missing any time. You know, I want to work on getting bigger. I want to work on finishing at the rack. And I feel like this off season I put in a lot of work in the weight room. So it's going to show.
Hey, Devin,
we definitely hooping.
Hey, Devin, you have so many different players that can play different positions and defend different positions. What is that going to be like in the season, and what was that like during y'all summer's workouts where you could kind of mix people around?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're a team that can switch, maybe 1 through 3, some games 1 through 4, and that helps. Being able to switch is I don't know. It's tricky though. It depends on who you're playing, but being able to switch, it helps you out. It puts you in the right rotations. It keeps you on the help side, like certain stuff like that. So I think as long as we take pride on defense, we'll be all right.
Talk about the excitement and everything. What is something that you've seen Wemby do in practice or whatever that's like really impressed you?
Man, honestly, let's just put it this way. I think every game he's gonna do something to where you just turn around and be like, huh? Like, it just doesn't make sense. Like, sometimes he makes the hoop just look so little, or he does something like he'll shoot a step back and you're like, did he really just shoot that? And then he makes it. So y'all are gonna have a great time watching him play this season. It's gonna be fun.
Hey, Dev, Pop talked about the depth being better this year. What have you seen in open gym from the guys that might be on that second team?
Yeah, I mean, people have been in the gym this summer for sure. It's a lot of people who come out. I mean, I got to give a shout out to Malachi because he's been hooping this year. He's been hooping this summer. But, I mean, it's a bunch of young guys that I think is going to take that big next step. You know, we got Jew. We got some vets coming off the bench. So it's going to be exciting. Like you said, we'll definitely have more depth this year, and I think everybody's going to excel in their roles. Appreciate it.
Hey, Jeremy. What has building the team camaraderie been like this season or this summer with so much outside noise happening? And are there any plans to coordinate hair colors?
No, it's been great. Like, you know, most people probably told you guys already, but we've had a bunch of like little mini camps. We've all been in the gym. Sometimes the whole team was here in the summer, so, you know, that's a rare thing in the NBA. And it's been a lot of fun. We've been going to dinners, and, you know, we've gone to like bowling and stuff like that. So it's been fun. I don't know about the hair thing. I think it would just be me for now. I've tried to, you know, get the whole team to do it, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Jeremy, right here. What's the excitement level been like having Victor in the building and being able to have all of your teammates together doing these mini camps and doing these outings and things like that so far?
Yeah, it's been great. I feel like there's been a, you know, different kind of energy. I feel like everyone wants to come to the gym. Everyone wants to learn. Everyone wants to grow. And I feel like that's an exciting thing to have, you know, as a young team, as a team, being involved with a team that's won so much in the past, winning culture. I think that's really exciting. So it's been a lot of fun.
Hey, Jeremy, right over here.
Yep.
First of all, what have you really been focusing on this offseason as far as your development, and are you going to be sticking with the one-handed free throw?
Yeah, I think I will be sticking with the one-hand free throw. You know, it's just been, you know, trying to develop my whole game, my body, you know, my shot. So just a mixture of stuff, and then also, you know, just develop, you know, being with a team, you know, and just playing as a team. So, yeah, just a mixture of stuff.
What's your position?
What's my position?
Yeah. I mean, which one do you prefer?
What do I prefer? I don't know.
That's a good thing, yeah?
Yeah, that's a good thing, I think. I think it's cool to, you know, it's cool. I feel like I'm an all-around player. So wherever, you know, Coach Pop's going to put me, I think I'll be able to excel and, you know, help the team. So we will see, you know, the first game. I don't know. We'll see.
Jeremy, when you look at this group over here, when you look at this group, Jeremy, and the fact that you guys didn't really get to play together a whole lot last year, then you add Wemby, how good do you guys think you can be this first year with Wemby?
Yeah, I think, you know, I think we could be really good. Again, we've been practicing so hard the whole summer, so I think we're, you know, we're ready. We're excited for the season. Like you said, hopefully, you know, we're all injury-free, healthy every game, and, you know, I feel like, you know, we'll see what happens, but I think we're going into the season with a mentality to win and, you know, do our best.
Hey, Jeremy, what was it like playing with, you know, Pop for the full season last year, and have you kind of told Wemby kind of what to expect as far as the coaching style?
Yeah, it was fun for me. I remember before the season, everyone was like, "Oh, watch out, Pop is this monster. He's gonna, eat you and this and that." But no, it was great. He is a legend. He's done this for a very long time. So coming in, I was just an open book, listened to everything he said, and just wanted to learn and grow. And he helped with that, and I feel like we made a connection not only on the court but off the court too. And I think that's important to building something and building that kind of relationship. So it's been great. And I haven't really told Victor, he didn't really ask, but just be himself. That's the most important thing, and just work hard.
Jeremy, you say we'll see when you talk about opening night what the roster's or starting lineup and rotations are going to look like. Do y'all really not know? I know that y'all have been going together for a few weeks or really all summer. Do you guys have an idea at least of how y'all work together at this point?
Yeah, of course there's an idea. I think it's not my place to say what the starting five is gonna be or what the rotation is gonna be, but I think that there's definitely an idea, and we've been practicing and working out. So yeah, we will see.
Jeremy, when Devin was up here, he was mentioning that during practice, there's moments where he'll see Wemby do something, and it'll make you say, like, huh? Like, what just happened?
Yeah.
Or, what moments have you seen at the time that you've been in with him that have just impressed you or, made you think, is that actually physically possible? How did somebody do that in any way?
I think he's just a freak of nature. It's not a normal thing to see, someone that tall and move like that and be agile and, be able to come out of nowhere and block a shot or dunk it from some weird place. But no, yeah, he's done a bunch of stuff that's like, oh snap, that's crazy. And then it's gonna carry on this season, next season, and as long as he plays, he's gonna prove people that he's special. So I think it's exciting for us, for the organization, for the city. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Jeremy, I know you talked earlier about you could play all kinds of different positions. How comfortable would you be at the one?
Yeah, I think I would be comfortable. Again, I think it will be an experiment, and it's gonna there's gonna be days where it looks beautiful, and there's gonna be days where it's like I don't know about that. But at the end of the day, I have a growth mindset, and I feel like it's a position that I can excel in and help the team, and I think it's gonna be a lot of fun if that happens, and we'll see.
I also wanted to ask you about Devin. Do you feel like he's one of those players across the league that a lot of other people that watch the league are not really aware of how good he is and can be?
The thing is, I feel like, if you really watch the league or, I feel like the players in the league, the coaches, they all respect Devin. And again, I feel like he is underrated, but he's a special player too. And, the shots he makes and the percentages, they're all special. So I think, this is a place where he's going to be and excel. And I think, like you said, like he's definitely underrated. So,
Jeremy, over here, brother. Last year, we saw, despite you guys being several games below 500, there were games where, guys like you, Zach, weren't going to get pushed around, in the paint, and, occasionally get a little chippy down there. But talk about how that sense of, pride that you guys have in a young team, despite being below 500. Now, translating over to this year, I mean, you and Zach are, kind of turning into, enforcers in the league. It could be.
Yeah. Again, we'll see. Hopefully not too many technicals for Zach because he's crazy. But no, like you said, I feel like every team, every winning team, every culture that has winners, there is that one or two players that people don't really like or don't like playing against them. But Zach's definitely one, and I think I'm one too. But yeah, I think it's gonna be fun, and there's definitely gonna be moments where it's gonna get chippy. But I feel like like the whole team, we have pride, and we love what we're doing, and I think we're gonna show a lot of emotion too. So yeah, it's gonna be exciting.
Why is that crazy, man? What?
He's just crazy in a good way, in a good way. But yeah, he's crazy.
Jeremy,
Oh yeah.
going into this season, you guys were obviously trying to build toward the end of last season. What do you think is the biggest thing that you guys as a group have done moving forward? You see it in the camps. As a team, where do you think you guys are in that growth journey together?
Yeah, I think it's just taking pride in communication and the defensive side. It's a thing that we're still working on, and I think training camp's gonna help with that. But last year, we wasn't too good on the defensive side, and I think if we do want to have that winning culture in this league, and if we do want to win, I think that's something that we have to do every night, and we can't take days off, and defense is gonna win us games. So I think that's one thing that we're gonna carry on in training camp and just work on a lot.
Jeremy, when a player of the magnitude of Wemby comes in and all the attention that he draws and so much focus on him, what mindset do the rest of the players have to have or put egos aside, whatever it may be, to accept that? Because there's nothing you can do about it. But what mindset and what do you take from that?
I think, like you said, you just gotta accept it. It's something you can't change or dictate. And again, I'm here for him. I'm here to help him. He's human, and I'm just carrying on my day, working hard, and trying to prove why we're gonna be good, and why I deserve to have a spot in the roster. So yeah.
Jeremy, over here, does it feel like there's just been a different vibe, different energy with you guys this offseason? Obviously, you guys spend a lot of time together. Went up to the Drake concert.
Yeah,
if I'm
we
not
did.
mistaken. Yeah,
We did.
so just to explain a little bit what the locker room's been like and just the energy around the city and the team.
Yeah, I think the energy everywhere is different, from us being here in the facility to the city, just people around, social media. I think the energy's been very different, in a good way. I think it's been again very positive, and like we said, we've been in these mini camps. We've been in San Antonio for so long, so we've had a bunch of different dinners. We went to the Drake concert, which was a lot of fun. We've gone bowling. We've done a bunch of stuff. So I think it's really important to have that as a team, and let the egos go away and just have fun. So yeah, it's been great.
Jeremy, do you feel like Wemby's overshadowing your social media presence?
I don't know. I don't think so. He's pretty big time, so yeah.
Along the lines of what Raul asked you earlier, you're a top 10 pick last year, and everywhere you go this year, you're going to get Wemby questions in every city.
Yep.
How do you think you will handle that, the rest of the guys handle that, to where it's not just Wemby and the sidekicks?
Right. I think we're going to handle it pretty well. Again, I feel like the Spurs and, just the PR team and, Coach Pop, they know it's not all about, Wemby, but I think, again, the emphasis is on team, and I think that's the most important thing. But I feel like, every question that's asked, we're going to probably answer it in a positive way, and hopefully no negative comments come out. And, it is what it is in the end of the day. So, we'll handle it well.
Okay, so we know San Antonio loves two things. We love San Antonio, and we love the Spurs. So what is your favorite thing about San Antonio? What do you love about being here?
Yeah, I think the people from day one, have showed a lot of love. They respect us, but they also, they have passion, and I think just the mixture of that is really important. And it's just been fun. All the restaurants here, all the food is beautiful and great, for my soul. So it's been a lot of fun.
Jeremy, Pop said the new practice facility is so nice. He's thinking about moving in there. What are your thoughts on it? How much does that affect the team? Just having a new energy.
Yeah, it's a beautiful facility. It's massive. I think it affects us in a very, very positive way. There's so much stuff to do in there. Recovery, of course, the basketball court, the food. We have everything there, and we're very lucky and blessed to experience that. and it's just exciting to be in a new facility and get ready for the season in there. So it's been great.
Hey, Jeremy, is there something a little surreal about going through much of the season last year, knowing being with Wemby's shadow kind of overhanging things a little bit down the stretch, and then actually having him with you on the team? What's the transition going like from hearing about him for so long to having him on the roster and spending that time with him?
Yeah, I don't think it's surreal. Again, I feel like every time we go in the gym, it's we want to work hard, get to know each other, and just improve. And we don't look at each other differently. I feel like we treat each other as humans, and that's the most important thing to have. And yeah, it's been good.
Jeremy, back over here, right? When it comes to things that come for the next step, we obviously will have today, and then you guys will get into practicing, and then the season is upon us. What are you most excited about when it comes to what's coming next? Is it hanging out with the guys? Is it seeing how this team can gel together? What gets your energy up?
Yeah, I think it's just playing as a team and trying to win as many games as we can. I think that excites me, and we're still really young, so I think another thing that excites me is just seeing everyone in the gym working hard and trying to improve. So I think it's exciting. It's a new season finally. It's been the longest off season. Hopefully it's the last off season that's that long. But yeah, we're just super excited to start playing.
Anybody else? Thanks, Jeremy.
Thank you.
Hey, Victor, how you doing?
Hey, doing good, man. Thank you.
You do anything interesting lately around town? We're not sure.
Yeah. I've been trying to discover all the popular areas of the city, and everything interesting so far.
How do you feel about your first month or two as a San Antonian?
Man, it's just been so comfortable to have people welcome you like this, and I'm very thankful. I'm very lucky human.
And I guess last one along these lines, but are you gonna rock the cowboy hat like on a regular basis?
Oh
now?
yeah.
Yeah.
You're gonna see me often with it. Yeah.
Andrew Lopez, ESPN, right here.
I know you said you wanted to not see us for a couple of months, but what has?
It's been done.
Yeah.
Couple months are over.
What have these last 2-3 months been like for you, both on and off the court, trying to get ready for the season?
So let me take you through chronologically. So at first, after Summer League, I did get away from pretty much everything for some time, for a couple weeks. That restored me totally. I often like to think the best players are the one who work the hardest, but you also need to know how to rest the hardest, and I rested hard as hell for a couple weeks. And but then I was back here in San Antonio, and I've just been working better than any other moment in my life, harder, but also smarter. And I think this off season will make a difference, not just for the upcoming season, but the work we've done is gonna impact my next few years, I think.
I'm gonna go over here to Nate, Ryan, Ken.
Victor, how you doing, man? You talked about the work you put in on the off season. We've seen you in the gym. Your biceps look a little bit bigger. I mean, have you added any muscle, I guess, in other areas? I mean, what's been your weight change, I guess, increase since you got with the Spurs?
It's yes. Ever since I've been in San Antonio, I've gained 10, 15 pounds. So I'm trying to stop there. I'm trying to not add too much too quick. So it's we're in a good path, and it's as I was saying, my conditioning and physical condition are way better than any time before in my life. So we're good.
Raul, what's the chemistry been like with you and the other players? Seems like y'all are getting along really well. Was there kind of an immediate bond between you all?
Yeah, we got all of us got good relations. You know, we often have team dinners and team meetings. So I'm really glad everything's happening the way it's happening. And yeah, it's, as I was saying, I feel very lucky. I know I'm in a good environment from every aspect, you know.
Victor, over here. I know you've dealt with this your entire life, the fame and the attention heaped upon you, but is there something awkward about coming into a team and receiving the most attention more than guys who've been in the NBA before, and kind of how do you smooth that over with the guys?
You know, it's, I think, pretty quick. I learned to know my teammates and they learned to know me, so they know I don't I don't care about it. Like, it's, I'm here to make sacrifices for them, and I think they're gonna, yeah, when it's needed, they're also gonna make sacrifices for me, and they know it's different. They know you know, they know it's gonna happen. Of course, there's gonna be a lot of attention, but it's, at the end of the day, when everything is done, we're at practice. I'm like, yeah, okay, what do we do to get this team better? So it's, you know, it's really stuff we don't care about. It's basketball first.
Victor, Pop said that one of the cool questions of training camp will be having the coaching staff find out, are you a 5, or where you can best fit at, 5, 4, 3. Do you have a preference, and is it just a kind of feeling out period to see how you mesh with your teammates?
I think the best, you know I can bring some help to this team, and the best way for me to help it, and it's to not put me in a box, I think. So he knows it. He's learned to know me, and I'm learning to know him. And it's yeah, we know we're gonna make something original, something special.
Victor, it's been a long journey for you to get to this point, to sitting in that chair right now. But has it hit you that tomorrow starts your first NBA training camp?
It is really special. Again, just this morning I realized that I don't even realize I'm a San Antonio Spur. You know, it's just crazy, but I'm still I'm excited, but of course it's hard to realize, and it's gonna be even harder when I step on the court and play against those guys. I know we play against Steph in the preseason. It's gonna feel really, really weird.
We'll go right here, Raul Flores.
So you've had a chance to work out with these guys. What has you most excited about? What have y'all been able to accomplish on the court that gives you encouragement for the season? And what are you most looking forward to?
Even before coming here, I knew it, but those guys play really, really hard. Even in practice, they got that fire inside of them, and it's, you know, that fire entertains itself through inside the team, and everyone is giving 100%, even at practice. So I'm sure everyone is ready to make sacrifices, and yeah, just do whatever it takes to win. So I'm really, really confident.
Bill Schoening over here, our radio.
Spurs Radio, Vic. First of all, welcome to town, and we're all looking forward to seeing you play. But the question is, it was, I guess, 22 years ago now that Tony Parker was brought in as a 19-year-old from France. How much have you leaned on Tony and talked to Tony about what this experience is going to be like for you?
Tony is definitely part of the guys who've been giving me advice here and there, and especially since he's lived in the city for so long. But it's good to have only good people like this. Even Boris, who's with the national team, you know. So it's good to have such good people, yeah, that are here in case I ever need to ask a question. I'm wondering about anything. I know they're here for me.
Victor, I know you've spent a fair amount of time with Manu. I'd like to know what your impressions are of Manu as a person and what he has told you about being a Spur.
So Manu, he's you know, when I talk to him a fair amount of times, and he's really I mean, when I talk to him, I don't even think about, yeah, he's a Spurs legend. He's been here for so long. He's won championships, because it's so natural just talking to him. He's always giving good advice. He's really how do you say? He's dedicated still to the team. We've had meetings with everyone, and we've been talking also about how to sleep better. Yeah, he's been giving me a fair amount of advice, but it's always so natural, you know.
Victor, right here. Hi. Ask some of your teammates about, what they've been the most impressed about with you and everything, and they just can't believe some of the things that they've seen you do. So I'm just wondering, how do you visualize like your rookie season going with your talent?
So, I'm not sure I'm the guy to ask what expectations we have for this season, because all my expectations are really to learn how to win as quick as possible, because there's people, everyone here except the rookies is more experienced than me. So I got a whole lot to learn, and I can just turn to whoever, really, even the guys who have just 2-3 years in this league. I know they get good advice from me, and they have already proven it in those past months, and it's I'm just really excited, happy to be here.
Victor, you've over here. Sorry, you've always paid such close attention to your body. You said earlier that you've never worked better or smarter. What is this sort of infrastructure changed moving to the NBA? How has that helped you physically, mentally, all of that stuff?
Oh, it's, everything here is done with a purpose. I remember last year, it was a really, really nice year, but it was also really tough because we didn't have the same infrastructures. We couldn't run the same tests. I learned as much about my body in those past 3 months that I had learned for the past 5 years. So it's really, what I'm saying, we work smarter because we know a lot more, and the Spurs know a lot more than any of my teams before, because they could run some tests more thoroughly, and it's everything. All this is really technical.
Go back here to Ken's Tom.
Sort of along those lines, what's been the thing that has really impressed you about joining an NBA team, the scale of it or the attention to detail? Is there anything that really jumped out as like, wow, this is different?
Yeah, it is. Well, I think the biggest difference here is back in Europe, back in Europe, I don't think the whole organizations, like the front office, coaches, staff, they aren't as dedicated to make the players and to have great ambitions long term. And it's because sometimes in Europe back there, it's like there's some fights between players and coaches, players in front office. Here, everyone works in harmony, and everyone is working towards the same goal. I know it's not the same in every franchise, but here, everyone is. They know how to win these. They've done it before, and they want to do it again. So everyone is working towards the same goal. It's just a beautiful harmony.
Hey, Victor, right here, in the back. We've seen on social media you making your rounds across San Antonio to see a lot of things in the past couple of months. Has it hit you how much you're changing the culture of the city? We have murals going up. We have burgers named after you. Has that kind of sunk in yet?
It's hitting me more and more every day, but at first I really didn't realize how big of an impact this could be. And but yeah, it's really, really funny, walking around or driving around and just seeing my face sometimes. But I love it. It's always in a sane, healthy way. People here, I know they treat me like family, even though they don't know me personally. They treat me like family. So it's really comfortable, and yeah, it's a really good place.
Nick, right here with KSAT.
Wemby, as you go into this next stage of a training camp, and then you mentioned playing against Steph in the preseason, what is it you're most looking forward to when it comes to your first year? Is it your debut? Is it seeing how your body matches up against NBA talent? What gets you excited about this first year?
I would say is, yeah, discovering all the stuff I used to see on TV, and all the stores, all the arenas, the atmospheres. All this is going to be really precious to me, and I know I'm gonna live through incredible things and also obstacles, but I know it's gonna be a beautiful year, and I know I'm forging forever memories right now.
Thank you all. We're going to go to a little French.
Victor, bonjour, Maxime Aubin du journal de l'équipe. On a parlé depuis tout à l'heure en fait de ton développement physique, de à quel point tu n'as jamais été aussi en forme. Je reviens là-dessus, mais est-ce que tu pourrais nous donner un petit peu de détails de quelle a été ta ligne directrice en fait de ton développement physique pendant l'été, que ce soit de la robustesse physique, la prévention des blessures, à la souplesse. Sur quoi tu as travaillé en fait précisément? Merci.
Alors la prévention des blessures, c'est quelque chose qui est tout le temps fait par tout le monde. C'est le travail qui se voit pas en fait, parce que tant qu'on se blesse pas, c'est que le travail est bien fait. Mais disons que ma ligne directrice, c'était beaucoup augmenter les niveaux les capacités en termes d'énergie, de cardio notamment, parce que voilà, on en a toujours besoin dans une saison de 82 matchs. Mais sinon, il y a eu tellement de domaines dans lesquels j'ai progressé physiquement et aussi techniquement.
Et petite deuxième question, et je parlais à un habitant en fait hier dans un bar et qui m'expliquait à quel point, il m'a dit Maxime, tu ne te rends pas compte à quel point les Spurs comptent dans la vie des gens. Il me donnait un exemple en me disant sa grand-mère est enterrée avec un maillot des Spurs par exemple.
Wow.
C'était incroyable et ça m'a rappelé un petit peu aux ambiances et à ce qu'il peut y avoir comme passion en France en fait dans le football par exemple en Europe. Ouais. Est-ce que tu es d'accord avec ça et comment est-ce que tu analyses?
Il y a un documentaire qui sort sur vous à la fin de la semaine et dans ce documentaire on voit l'importance de votre noyau familial, d'avoir vos frères et sœurs et vos parents autour de vous. Comment vous comptez ici mettre en place un peu la même chose, vous recréer un cocon familial et est-ce que c'est la ville un peu idéale pour le faire?
C'est la vérité, ma famille est vraiment importante pour moi. Et elle est importante et on est tous très proches malgré qu'on ait tous été un peu séparés depuis de nombreuses années, parce qu'on est tous partis en centre de formation, mes frères et sœurs et moi, donc loin de la maison. Mais cette fois, c'est un peu plus loin que d'habitude, mais ça va marcher quand même. De toute façon, mes frères et sœurs, ils ont leurs obligations au niveau du basket en Europe. Mais mes parents, il y aura sûrement toujours un de mes parents à San Antonio. Et ils feront des allers-retours parce qu'ils s'occuperont autant de moi que de mes frères et sœurs.
Bonjour Victor, je pars ici. Robin Gremel de l'agence France Presse. Tu as eu ce statut de numéro 1 de la draft, tout le monde parle beaucoup de toi, donc tu vas être attendu par les journalistes mais aussi par tes adversaires, peut-être un petit peu titillé, un petit peu bousculé. Comment tu te prépares à ça, à un accueil peut-être un peu musclé?
Oh, vous savez, avec ce que j'ai vécu l'année dernière, il n'y a plus rien qui me fait peur. Mais c'est pas la première fois que ça arrive et c'est pas la dernière fois, donc c'est plutôt une récompense pour moi parce que ça prouve certaines choses.
Bonjour Victor, Vincent Piala, Le Parisien. On a posé la question au coach, il dit que son management a un peu évolué, il appuie différemment sur certains boutons avec les joueurs qu'il le faisait à une époque. Comment tu analyses ta relation avec lui et est-ce que tu dirais qu'il s'est un peu adouci, qu'il est moins dur aujourd'hui qu'il l'était à une certaine époque?
Alors, je le connaissais pas avant donc je peux pas vraiment dire, mais c'est vrai que pour l'instant, étant donné que le camp d'entraînement n'a pas commencé, je sais qu'on n'a pas vu le côté dur encore de Gregg Popovich. Mais moi, j'attends que ça. Et puis, pour moi, il n'y a pas d'autre alternative que d'avoir un coach dur. Parce que je suis prêt à encaisser tous les remarques, même qui me gueulent dessus. C'est pour progresser, je suis prêt à encaisser ça.
On y a aussi posé la question de savoir comment il compte t'utiliser. Est-ce que tu t'attends, toi, à beaucoup jouer, que ce soit en pré-saison ou durant la saison régulière?
Bon, bien sûr, je m'attends à avoir un temps de jeu important, bien entendu. Mais bon, c'est pas le plus important. Le plus important, c'est comment tout coordonner et être impliqué dans le collectif.
Victor, la question a déjà été posée en anglais, je la pose en français. Comment vous gérez et comment vos coéquipiers gèrent toute l'attention qu'il y a autour de vous en permanence?
Alors, pour moi, ça fait partie du métier, c'est simplement... c'est un savoir-faire aussi. Hein. Mais pour mes coéquipiers, je pense pas que ce soit plus compliqué que ça parce que on se parle très souvent, il y a une très bonne entente et ils me connaissent plus que seulement le Victor des médias. Donc voilà, ils savent... franchement, il y a aucun tabou et puis il n'y a pas de jalousie. On est tous très proches, donc franchement, il y a zéro inquiétude à ce niveau-là.
Benjamin Mbech de Rivers. Tu es dans une situation un peu paradoxale parce que tu es tout jeune, tu disais justement tu n'as pas beaucoup d'expérience et beaucoup de choses à attendre, mais en même temps tu es très attendu. Donc est-ce que tu te considères comme un leader dans l'équipe et est-ce que c'est important pour toi d'être un leader justement ici?
Pour moi, le meilleur moyen d'être un leader, c'est de montrer l'exemple sur le terrain en fait. Donc ça commence par défendre. Mais pour moi, ces choses, ça viendra naturellement.
Victor, petite dernière question, mais je me demande à quel point tu as travaillé ta complémentarité avec Zach Collins cet été. Et est-ce qu'on peut vous imaginer démarrer ensemble? On a vu des rumeurs qui circulaient comme quoi tu pourrais jouer au poste 4 et lui en 5. Est-ce que c'est possible?
Ouais, de toute façon, j'ai joué au poste 4 toute ma vie, donc ça peut continuer sans problème. Mais Zach Collins, ouais, c'est marrant parce que à l'entraînement, dès qu'on a l'occasion de choisir son équipe, c'est toujours lui que je choisis en premier parce que ça marche bien. On a une bonne entente sur le terrain et ouais, je pense que ça se fera, bien sûr. De toute façon, souvent quand je joue avec un 5 physique dans la raquette, ça marche bien. À travers les années, je l'ai vu.
Oui, bonjour Victor, Théo Quintard pour Squeak. Est-ce que tu te rends compte qu'aujourd'hui tu es en train de devenir un joueur des Spurs, un petit peu comme tu le disais en anglais? Tu peux répéter ça en français, s'il te plaît?
C'est dur à... C'est pas dur, mais c'est toujours fou. Des fois, ça me prend comme ça de réaliser un peu que je suis en NBA, que je joue aux Spurs. Des fois, c'est un petit peu réel, mais bon, c'est normal, c'est encore frais.
Thank you all very much. Appreciate you, Victor.
So, Keldon, what is the excitement level to be, I guess, I was going to say back in this gym, but you'll be in a new gym tomorrow. So what's the excitement level just to get this started after the offseason and all the additions you guys have had in the offseason?
Can y'all hear me? Yeah. I'm definitely excited. We go into a new building, start a fresh leaf, and we're ready to work. We've been working all summer, and I feel like for us, training camp is just going to be another day. We've been going hard for more than half the summer, so it's nothing special. We're going to come in tomorrow ready to work, locked in as always, and we get some stuff done.
What have those open gym runs been like in terms of both building camaraderie and then learning how to play with each other and all that stuff?
It's been competitive. We've been getting after each other. Really just competing. I feel like this has been one of the best open gyms I've been a part of since I've been San Antonio Spurs. So, I'm excited for not only me, but the whole entire group.
Keldon, over here to your right. When it comes to this year, Pop was mentioning how there's kind of a feeling of learning. Yeah, everybody's got to develop, everybody's going to learn. What do you think are parts of your game that maybe you're eager to develop a little bit more, or things that you want to learn a little bit? That's working with the guys. What's got you excited about learning this year?
I'm always excited to learn as a player. I feel like, for me, I feel like just showing. I feel like you guys that I can defend. I feel like I'm an elite defender. I feel like that, and that's the part of my game I feel like that I'm ready to show off to you guys. I feel like I've grown a lot this summer. I put a lot of hard work and time in to my body and my craft in basketball. So I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm excited to, show all the doubters, prove all the doubters wrong.
For lack of a better word, the circus that comes with someone like Victor Wembanyama, how did the rest of you all keep that in check, accept it, work around it? What mindset do you all have to make it work?
Vic's such a humble kid. Like, I feel like personally, we don't really, that really doesn't affect us. Like, I feel like Vic is so humble. He doesn't let any of the hype or the media come into his life or I feel like affect him as a person. He's been, he's been outgoing, humble, great, energetic, playful. He's been great. So, all the other things that come with, Vic being an amazing basketball player, we kind of just keep that on the outside.
Hey, Keldon, y'all, as a team, y'all didn't get a lot of attention, the last couple years. This year, all the national television appearances and all the attention. Is that something y'all are eager to kind of show people what y'all have here?
Definitely. I feel like, we've been slept on. We in a sense, like I feel like we've been overlooked as far as saying we don't have good talent. But I feel like we put in a lot of hard work. And at the end of the day, once we get out there on the court, can't no media outlet play for us. Can't no coach play for us. And I feel like when we look to the left and the right, I'm pretty comfortable, with who I have going to war for me each and every night. So I'm excited. I feel like my teammates are excited, and we're ready to, stir some things up.
Keldon, over here to your left. Going back to those open runs, what has that been like having the majority, if not everybody, being able to get on the court and play with each other during these open runs so far?
It's definitely big. It's been some tough days. It's been some good days, bad days, but that's what comes with growing with a new group and having new pieces around. But we definitely had everybody here, so I feel like we had a grasp of what's everybody's tendencies, what they like to do, what they don't like to do. So going into the season, it's not just starting from ground zero, starting tomorrow.
Hey, Keldon, how does the addition of the in-season tournament change what you guys do over the course of the season, and what are your expectations for that? Are you looking forward to it? Does it change what you're looking forward to take out of this season?
We plan on winning. I feel like that's our mindset going into the season. I feel like we're not approaching it any different than we were approaching any other game. We want to go out there and win, and hopefully compete. And I think it's Las Vegas, right? So that's our mindset. We want to win, we want to compete, and we're gonna grow as a team.
Keldon, following the DeJounte trade last summer, you and guys like Devin were thrust into sort of this leadership role. Devin missed a whole bunch of the season. What did you learn about yourself as an offensive player, defensive player, whatever, in such a big role that you hadn't been accustomed to prior?
You just got to adjust. I knew that nobody would feel sorry for the role that I was in. And, like you said, unfortunately, we had some injuries. But I just kept grinding. I grew as a leader, through the thick and thin of the season. And, I just continue to, work hard. I feel like, I learned that I can do it, that I can compete at a high level each and every night.
Keldon, Coach talked about last year being a development year, and this year he's expecting some wins. What do you see from this team that leads you to believe that y'all can attain that?
We fight. We got that grit. We hungry. And realistically, like we know we are expected to win this year. Like we want to win. It's not. We don't want to hear we're growing or that we're young. We want to win. We're going out there to win every game this season. So we're going out there to compete and get after guys.
Keldon over here. How's it going?
Good, good.
What's it feel like to know that you're one of the longest tenured Spur on this roster, and that will, as far as, and also too, just those experiences this team learned last year. You know, a lot of losses, but that's a big amount of experience heading into this new season.
It's definitely, I feel like it's crazy. I feel like I was just one of the young guys on the team, but it's definitely, you know, a turn of events, but, you know, long season last year, you know, this season, we got our eyes forward and ready to compete.
Keldon, last year you started the season shooting really hot, and then as the season went on, your game sort of transitioned to more attacking the basket. Offensively, where are you trying to fit in this year, and where do you feel like your body is in terms of weight, strength, agility, as you try to achieve those things?
As far as strength and size-wise, I feel like, you know, this is one of the best. Like, this is the best I felt. As far as balance-wise, I feel like with being weight and with like having the right weight and being strong at the same time. As far as, you know, offensively, you know, I just play the game of basketball. Whatever the defense gives me, you know, that's what I take. I'll continue to shoot the ball, continue to drive the ball, and, you know, you just got to continue to make great decisions. So offensively, I'll let it come. Whatever my team needs me to be on offensively, that's what I'll be. And, you know, we have so many great players that, you know, any night it could be somebody different. So that's the exciting thing about having a young, great team. And, you know, I'm looking forward to that.
Hey, Keldon, even with the loss, it seemed like Coach Pop enjoyed the development and the growth. Do you kind of get a sense of that this year as well? Do you sense kind of an excitement with him, or?
He's always excited. I feel like I wish you guys could be around him. He's always smiling, joking around. But, you know, he's excited. You know, you can see it in his face that, you know, he's ready for us to kick it off and get going. And just so happened that day's tomorrow. So we're going to lock in and get ready to learn and work and be ready to go out there and compete when the ball goes up. No problem. Y'all have a great day.
Yeah, we want to win. I mean, as a competitor, that's all you want to do. That's why you play the game. That's why it's fun. You want to win games more than you lose. So that's our goal for sure. We want to win as many games as we can. Take what we learned last year. You know, last year was a rough year. We went through a lot of ups and downs. And, you know, this year definitely, I would agree with that. You know, we don't want to go through what we did again last year. You know what I mean? So we want to be a lot better, and we're definitely going to win more for sure.
I got a mic.
What encourages you about this team that makes you believe that y'all can get those wins this year?
I think being together so long now, you know, this is my third year, and when I got here, there was guys that were already here for 2 years, and, you know, we just have a young core that's been together for a while, and everybody's growing up a little bit, and everybody took the summer really seriously. We all got a lot better, you know. And on top of that, obviously, we've added some great new pieces that are going to help us a lot. And defensively, more than anything, that's going to be our biggest thing this year, is being better on that side of the ball. So I think we made all the right steps to do that.
Speaking of new pieces, what have you seen from the very tall rookie that you guys are bringing in?
Yeah, no, Vic's been great. You know, he works really hard. He's got a great attitude about everything. It just seems like he enjoys it all. He has a lot of fun with it, and that's all you can ask for a rookie. You know, as a rookie, it's this whole new lifestyle. It's just a lot. You know, it could be mentally draining, and he seems to enjoy it. So that's big.
In the open gym runs you guys have done, have you been playing a lot like with him side by side, 4 or 5?
Yeah. We try to split up the teams, do different teams every day, but we've definitely had some reps together.
What are some things you think you can kind of help him out with when you're on the floor with him in that situation?
You know, just like with any rookie, spacing and knowing where to go on the court, and especially when I think he's always been the guy on his teams, and everything's kind of ran through him, which obviously we're going to run a lot through him, but, you know, we have so many more weapons on this team, it's going to make the game easier for him, I think. So I think just realizing that, you know, we all can do this thing together, and how much easier that's going to make it on him. I can help him a little bit there for sure. And then again, just getting used to the grind. 82 games is more than anybody's played coming into this. So, it's that part of it's going to be interesting. It's going to be a lot of fun to help him.
Hey, Zach, just curious about kind of what you expect your role to be. Pop praised you again, talked about your physicality and how confident and how much your game has continued to grow. Just kind of what do you see for yourself this season?
Yeah, just try to work really hard this summer, knowing how big this year is for us. And, again, not wanting to go through what we did last year. I think we all took initiative individually in our games and got a lot better. And I wanted to do the same thing, work on my body, work on my game. And I think I did that. So now it's just time to go out there and show it. And whatever that role is on the court, I'll be ready to step in and make an impact. So I'm excited.
Zach, something seemed to really click for you down the stretch last year. Was that just a byproduct of getting the starting job after Yak was dealt, or just getting more court time? What might it have been specifically? Yeah,
I think starting and just playing more minutes, getting more reps. It was a long year, and you start to peak towards the end of the seasons usually, and I think that's also a product of it. And also just staying in the gym and sticking to the process of all last year, through the ups and downs, good games, bad games, making sure I got in the gym and got my reps up. And I think towards the end of the season, it really started to come out.
What's the reward level been like for you? I mean, you're just a couple of years removed now from some serious injury stuff, and you've been it's been, I don't want to jinx anything, but like pretty smooth sailing since then. What's that been like for you just on a reward level?
It's been amazing, man. It's thinking about where I was, like you said, 2-3 years ago in a bad way, and now I'm here and been healthy for a while, and it's just been great. It makes me happy to think about that.
At your lowest point, did you ever think, this just isn't going to work out, or were you always optimistic, hey, I'm going to bounce back at some point?
Mostly optimistic. In the moment when those things happen, like obviously I had all those questions, just doubting myself. Is this it for me? Is this my story? And but that faded away really quick once you got the plan going and the rehab started. So it's been mostly optimistic, but I'd be lying if I said I didn't have those moments for sure.
So Coach Pop referred to you as nasty. He said we all need a little bit of nasty in basketball, which is pretty true. Is there a specific team that you guys just get so excited to play, or that you're like really looking forward to going up against this season?
No, not really. I think I'm just excited to play and experience what it's going to be like to be out there with these guys. Again, we have such a young group, and going through what we did last year, this year, we're expected to win more. I think around, the city, the league, we're expected to win more. It's nice to have those expectations going into a year. So I think any team we play is definitely going to get a lot of fight from us for sure.
Zach, over here to your right. When you're mentioning going through what you guys went through last year, having such a young group, does that in any way bond you guys? Going through it as tough as that was, there's a lot of times that people will go through that type of experience and say, we went through this together, that makes us closer. How does coming into this year, looking back at last year, make you guys any stronger in any way?
Yeah. Experience is the best teacher. Anytime you go through tough times, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Whatever cliche metaphor you want to use, like it all rings true. So that definitely made us closer. Made us realize we don't want to do that again. But it was good to go through that stuff. At the end of the day, I think we can look back when, we're on top again and realize that was part of the process and we needed that. So, hopefully we can learn from it and grow.
Hey, Zach. Not sure what you guys have talked about internally about your expectations for the season, but I'm curious to know with the in-season tournament, how does that change what you guys are doing as a team? Are you looking more forward to the potential of playing in the final of that? What's the talk been amongst you guys with the in-season tournament?
Yeah, it'd be great to go out there and win it. Again, just all about winning, and I think it's cool. The format it doesn't really add more games. It doesn't, it's not adding any more stress. It's just part of the season and something that's an added bonus for winning and doing your job. So I think it'd be really cool to win for sure. But as far as the team and what our goals are for that, we haven't talked about it, so we'll cross that bridge soon.
Zach, as a fellow tall guy, I'm sure you've drawn the assignment guarding Victor in practice a little bit. What are some of the challenges there just from the guy across from him?
Well, it's not every day, you being my height, that you guard somebody that's like 4 or 5 inches taller than you, so that presents new challenges. And he's just a good player, man. He can do a lot of things. He can really shoot the ball. I think that's a separator, a guy that at his height that can shoot the ball, put it on the floor, pull-ups, threes, all that. And yeah, it's definitely not easy to guard. I'm glad that he's on my team this year for sure, and yeah, he's going to be really good.
How much are you guys as a group banking on the internal growth, both as individuals and together as a group?
Yeah, we have to. I think that's been the plan. I think we have to, again, realize what we have, realize how much work we've put into this group, and how much faith everyone here in the organization has in us. Yeah, I think when times get tough this year, as they will every season, we got to rely on that for sure.
Yeah, since you have to guard him and everything, have there been any wow moments? Like a couple of other players like talked to us, they were like, "Oh my gosh!" Like, "Oh snap, he did that! Oh wow!" Have there been any wow moments that have and tell us what they were? Yeah,
for sure. He does a lot of stuff that you don't really see too often. You know, the way he can dunk the ball, he's so close to the rim, it looks so easy for him. And he's doing it from weird angles, and his body's contorted in certain ways, but his arm still gets to the rim. It just makes you excited to watch. It's a weapon that we haven't had, and you know, it just adds another dynamic to our offense. And then on the defensive end, yeah, he's just being able to block shots and not having to rotate as far as other people would. He can get there in fewer steps because his arms are so long. He's so tall, and again, it's just super dynamic. It's cool to have for us.
I've asked a couple of the other players this, but from your perspective, with all the circus around Victor and the media hype and you know, a lot of media showing up for this, what mindset do you all have to be in to not let that affect the play?
Yeah, I mean, that stuff's all great, but if we don't go out there and win and do our jobs individually, then that could all come crashing down, and it could go the opposite way. So at the end of the day, we got to keep it about basketball, and we will. You know, Pop and this whole organization just does a great job of making that you know, everything is great, all the hype, you know, even the new facility, you know, all that's awesome, but at the end of the day, we got to go out there and play, and that's going to decide, you know, really how this thing goes and the attention we get.
Thanks, Joel.
Thank you.
I'll take you this way. Stop. Media, we're done with group stuff.